This book was dictated in Cairo between noon and 1 p.m. on 3 successive days, April 8th, 9th and 10th in the year 1904. The author called himself Aiwas and claimed to be the minister of Hor-Par-Krat, that is, a messenger from the forces ruling this earth at present, as will be explained later on. How could he prove that he was in fact a being of a kind superior to any of the human race, and so entitled to speak with authority? Evidently he must show knowledge and power such as no man has ever been known to possess. He showed his knowledge chiefly by the use of cipher or cryptogram in certain passages to set forth recondite facts, including some events which had yet to take place such that no human being could possibly be aware of them. Thus, the proof of his claim exists in the manuscript itself. It is independent of any human witness. The study of these passages necessarily demands supreme human scholarship to interpret. It needs years of intense application. A great deal has still to be worked out. But enough has been discovered to justify his claim. The most skeptical intelligence is compelled to admit its truth. This matter is best studied under the Master Therion, whose years of arduous research have led him to enlightenment. On the other hand, the language of most of the book is admirably simple, clear and vigorous. No one can read it without being stricken in the very core of his being. The more than human power of Aiwas is shown by the influence of his master and of the book upon actual events, and history fully supports the claim made by him. These facts are appreciable by everyone, but are better understood with the help of the Master Therion. The full detailed account of the events leading up to the dictation of this book, with facsimile reproduction of the manuscript and an essay by the Master Therion, is published in the Equinox of the Gods. This book explains the universe. The elements are Nuit, space, that is, the total of possibilities of every kind, and Hadit, any point which has experience of these possibilities. This idea is for literary convenience symbolized by the Egyptian goddess Nuit, a woman bending over like the arch of the night sky. Hadit is symbolized as a winged globe at the heart of Nuit. Every event is a uniting of some one monad with one of the experiences possible to it. Every man and every woman is a star, that is, an aggregate of such experiences, constantly changing with each fresh event, which affects him or her either consciously or subconsciously. Each one of us has thus an universe of his own, but it is the same universe for each one as soon as it includes all possible experience. This implies the extension of consciousness to include all other consciousness. In our present stage, the object that you see is never the same as the one that I see. We infer that it is the same because your experience tallies with mine on so many points that the actual differences of our observation are negligible. For instance, if a friend is walking between us, you see only his left side, I his right, but we agree that it is the same man, although we may differ not only as to what we may see of his body, but as to what we know of his qualities. This conviction of identity grows stronger as we see him more often and get to know him better. Yet all the time, neither of us can know anything of him at all beyond the total impression made on our respective minds. The above is an extremely crude attempt to explain a system which reconciles all existing schools of philosophy. This book lays down a simple code of conduct. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. This means that each of us stars is to move on our true orbit, as marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, the impulse of our past experiences. All events are equally lawful and everyone necessary in the long run for all of us, in theory. But in practice, only one act is lawful for each one of us at any given moment. Therefore, duty consists in determining to experience the right event from one moment of consciousness to another. Each action or motion is an act of love, the uniting with one or another part of Nuit. Each such act must be under will, chosen so as to fulfill and not to thwart the true nature of the being concerned. The technical methods of achieving this are to be studied in magic, or acquired by personal instruction from the Master Therion and his appointed assistants. The third chapter of the book is difficult to understand and may be very repugnant to many people born before the date of the book, April 1904. It tells us the characteristics of the period on which we are now entered. Superficially, they appear appalling. We see some of them already with terrifying clarity. But fear not. It explains that certain vast stars or aggregates of experience may be described as gods. One of these is in charge of the destinies of this planet for periods of 2,000 years. In the history of the world, as far as we know accurately, are three such gods: Isis, the mother, when the universe was conceived as simple nourishment drawn directly from her. This period is marked by matriarchal government. Next, beginning 500 BC, Osiris, the father, when the universe was imagined as catastrophic, love, death, resurrection, as the method by which experience was built up. This corresponds to patriarchal systems. Now, Horus, the child, in which we come to perceive events as a continual growth, partaking in its elements of both these methods and not to be overcome by circumstance. This present period involves the recognition of the individual as the unit of society. We realize ourselves as explained in the first paragraphs of this essay. Every event, including death, is only one more accretion to our experience, freely willed by ourselves from the beginning, and therefore also predestined. This god, Horus, has a technical tied Heru-Raha, a combination of twin gods, Ra-Hur-Khut and Hur-Pa-Krut. The meaning of this doctrine must be studied in magic. He is symbolized as a hawk-headed god enthroned. He rules the present period of 2,000 years, beginning in 1904. Everywhere his government is taking root. Observe for yourselves the decay of the sense of sin, the growth of innocence and irresponsibility, the strange modifications of the reproductive instinct with a tendency to become bisexual or epicene, the childlike confidence in progress combined with nightmare fear of catastrophe, against which we are yet half unwilling to take precautions. Consider the outcrop of dictatorships, only possible when moral growth is in its earliest stages, and the prevalence of infantile cults like communism, fascism, pacifism, health crazes, occultism in nearly all its forms, religions sentimentalized to the point of practical extinction. Consider the popularity of the cinema, the wireless, the football pools and guessing competitions, all devices for soothing fractious infants, no seed of purpose in them. Consider sport, the babyish enthusiasms and rages which it excites, whole nations disturbed by disputes between boys. Consider war, the atrocities which occur daily and leave us unmoved and hardly worried. We are children. How this new eon of Horus will develop, how the child will grow up, these are for us to determine, growing up ourselves in the way of the law of Thelema under the enlightened guidance of the Master Therion. Democracy dodders. Ferocious fascism, cackling communism, equally frauds, cavort crazily all over the globe. They are hemming us in. They are abortive births of the child, the new eon of Horus. Liberty stirs once more in the womb of time. Evolution makes its changes by anti-socialistic ways. The abnormal man who foresees the trend of the times and adapts circumstance intelligently is laughed at, persecuted, often destroyed by the herd. But he and his heirs, when the crisis comes, are survivors. Above us today hangs a danger never yet paralleled in history. We suppress the individual in more and more ways. We think in terms of the herd. War no longer kills soldiers, it kills all indiscriminately. Every new measure of the most democratic and autocratic governments is communistic in essence. It is always restriction. We are all treated as imbecile children. Dora, the Shops Act, the motoring laws, Sunday suffocation, the censorship. They won't trust us to cross the roads at will. Fascism is like communism, and dishonest into the bargain. The dictators suppress all art, literature, theatre, music, news that does not meet their requirements. Yet the world only moves by the light of genius. The herd will be destroyed in mass. The establishment of the law of Thelema is the only way to preserve individual liberty and to assure the future of the race. In the words of the famous paradox of the Comte de Phoenix, the absolute rule of the state shall be a function of the absolute liberty of each individual will. All men and women are invited to cooperate with the Master Therion in this, the great work. said, the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star, every number is infinite, there is no difference. Help me, O warrior lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou Hadit, my secret center, my heart and my tongue. Behold, it is revealed by Iwas, the minister of Horpa-Krat. The Kabs is in the Ku, not the Ku in the Kabs. Worship then the Kabs, and behold my light shed over you. Let my servants be few and secret, they shall rule the many and the known. These are fools that men adore, both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, O children, under the stars, and take your fill of love. I am above you and in you. My ecstasy is in yours. My joy is to see your joy. Above the gemmed azure is the naked splendor of Nuit. She bends in ecstasy to kiss. The secret ardors of Hadit, the winged globe, the starry blue are mine, O Ankh-Afnakhonsu. Now you shall know that the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space is the prince priest, the beast, and in his woman called the Scarlet Woman is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. For he is ever a sun, and she a moon. But to him is the winged secret flame, and to her the stooping starlight. But you are not so chosen. Burn upon their brows, O splendorous serpent. O azure-lidded woman, bend upon them. The key of the rituals is in the secret word which I have given unto him. With the god and the adorer I am nothing, they do not see me. They are as upon the earth, I am heaven, and there is no other god than me, and my lord Hadit. Now therefore I am known to you by my name Nuit, and to him by a secret name which I will give him when at last he knows me. Since I am infinite space, and the infinite stars thereof, do you also thus. Bind nothing, let there be no difference made among you between any one thing and any other thing, for thereby there cometh hurt. But whoso avail in this, let him be the chief of all. I am Nuit, and my word is 56. Divide, add, multiply, and understand. Then saith the prophet and slave of the beauteous one, Who am I, and what shall be the sign? So she answered him, bending down, a lambent flame of blue, all touching, all penetrant, her lovely hands upon the black earth, and her lithe body arched for love, and her soft feet not hurting the little flowers. Thou knows, and the sign shall be my ecstasy, the consciousness of the continuity of existence, the omnipresence of my body. Then the priest answered, and said unto the Queen of Space, kissing her lovely brows, and the dew of her light bathing his whole body in a sweet-smelling perfume of sweat, O Nuit, continuous one of heaven, let it be ever thus, that men speak not of thee as one but as none, and let them speak not of thee at all, since thou art continuous. None breathe the light, faint and fairy of the stars, and two. For I am divided for love's sake, for the chance of union. This is the creation of the world, that the pain of division is as nothing, and the joy of dissolution all. For these fools of men and their woes care not thou at all. They feel little. What is balanced by weak joys, but you are my chosen ones. Obey my prophet, follow out the ordeals of my knowledge, seek me only. Then the joys of my love will redeem you from all pain. This is so. I swear it by the vault of my body, by my sacred heart and tongue, by all I can give, by all I desire of you all. Then the priest fell into a deep trance or swoon, and said unto the Queen of Heaven, Write unto us the ordeals, write unto us the rituals, write unto us the law. But she said, The ordeals I write not. The rituals shall be half known and half concealed. The law is for all. This that thou write is the threefold book of law. My scribe Ankh-Afnakhonsu, the priest of the princes, shall not in one letter change this book, but lest there be folly, he shall comment thereupon by the wisdom of Ra-Hokuit. Also the mantras and spells, the obeah and the wanga, the work of the wand and the work of the sword, these he shall learn and teach. He must teach, but he may make severe the ordeals. The word of the law is thelema. Who calls us Thelemites will do no wrong if he look but close into the word. For there are therein 3 grades, the hermit and the lover and the man of earth. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The word of sin is restriction. O man, refuse not thy wife if she will. O lover, if thou wilt depart. There is no bond that can unite the divided but love. All else is a curse. Accursed be it to the eons, hell. Let it be that state of many hood-bound and loathing. So with thy all, thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. The perfect and the perfect are one perfect and not two. Nay, are none. Nothing is a secret key of this law. 61 the Jews call it, I call it 880, 418. But they have the half unite by thine art, so that all disappear. My prophet is a fool with his one. Are not they the ox, and none by the book? Abrogate are all rituals, all ordeals, all words and signs. Ra-Hoor-Khuit hath taken his seat in the east at the equinox of the gods, and let Asar be with Issa, who also are one. But they are not of me. Let Asar be the adorant, Issa the sufferer. Hor in his secret name and splendour is the Lord initiating. There is a word to say about the hierophantic task. Behold, there are 3 ordeals in one, and it may be given in 3 ways. The gross must pass through fire, let the fine be tried in intellect, and the lofty chosen ones in the highest. Thus you have star and star, system and system, let not one know well the other. There are 4 gates to one palace. The floor of that palace is of silver and gold. Lapis lazuli and jasper are there, and all rare scents. Jasmine and rose and the emblems of death. Let him enter in turn or at once the 4 gates. Let him stand on the floor of the palace. Will he not sink? Warrior, if thy servant sink. But there are means and means. Be goodly therefore. Dress you all in fine apparel. Eat rich foods and drink sweet wines and wines that foam. Also take your fill and will of love as you will, when, where, and with whom you will. But always unto me, if this be not aright, if you confound the space marks, saying, they are one, or saying, they are many. If the ritual be not ever unto me, then expect the direful judgments of Ra-Hoor-Khuit. This shall regenerate the world, the little world, my sister, my heart and my tongue, unto whom I send this kiss. Also, O scribe and prophet, though thou be of the princes, it shall not assuage thee nor absolve thee. But ecstasy be thine and joy of earth ever to me. To me, change not as much as the style of a letter, for behold, thou, O prophet, shalt not behold all these mysteries hidden therein. The child of thy bowels, he shall behold them. Expect him not from the east nor from the west, for from no expected house cometh that child. All words are sacred and all prophets true, save only that they understand a little, solve the first half of the equation, leave the second unharmed. But thou hast all in the clear light, and some, though not all, in the dark. Invoke me under my stars. Love is the law, love under will, nor let the fools mistake love, for there are love and love. There is the dove and there is the serpent. Choose you well. He, my prophet, hath chosen, knowing the law of the fortress and the great mystery of the house of God. All these old letters of my book are aright, but Zadi is not the star. This also is secret, my prophet shall reveal it to the wise. I give unimaginable joys on earth, certainty, not faith, while in life upon death. Peace unutterable, rest, ecstasy, nor do I demand aught in sacrifice. My incense is of resinous woods and gums, and there is no blood therein, because of my hair the trees of eternity. My number is 11, as all their numbers who are of us. The 5-pointed star with a circle in the middle, and the circle is red. My colour is black to the blind, but the blue and gold are seen of the seeing. Also I have a secret glory for them that love me. But to love me is better than all things. If under the night stars in the desert thou presently burn mine incense before me, invoking me with a pure heart, and the serpent flame therein, thou shalt come a little to lie in my bosom. For one kiss wilt thou then be willing to give all. But whoso gives one particle of dust shall lose all in that hour. You shall gather goods and store of women and spices. You shall wear rich jewels. You shall exceed the nations of the earth in splendour and pride, but always in the love of me, and so shall you come to my joy. I charge you earnestly to come before me in a single robe and covered with a rich headdress. I love you. I yearn to you. Pale purple, veiled or voluptuous, I who am all pleasure and purple and drunkenness of the innermost sense, desire you. Put on the wings and arouse the coiled splendour within you. Come unto me. At all my meetings with you, shall the priestess say, and her eyes shall burn with desire as she stands bare and rejoicing in my secret temple. To me, calling forth the flame of the hearts of all in her love chant. Sing the rapturous love song unto me, burn to me perfumes, wear to me jewels, drink to me, for I love you, I love you. I am the blue-lidded daughter of sunset. I am the naked brilliance of the voluptuous night sky. To me, the manifestation of Nuit is at an end.